What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel and thanks so much for tuning in. Today's video is going to be a review of the new bareMinerals Liquid Mineral Foundation. Now, you might have already seen me talk about this just a few days ago when I did a get ready with me using new makeup products. The day that I posted that is actually the day that this launched on QVC, so it is that new. But if you saw that video, you will know that I gave kind of an incomplete review. Definitely a first impressions and not a very good one at that because, I was using a new skincare product at the time that just wasn't allowing this to lay like I kind of thought it was intended to. So I've given it more of a try. I want to share my thoughts on it, just give a more thorough review to let you know what I think. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's first start with the details, which I did already talk about in that previous video, so if you aren't here for that, you heard it all before, I'll put timestamps down below so you can actually jump to the part that you're most interested in. But if you haven't seen it, here's the deets. This new Liquid Mineral Foundation is supposed to be the liquid equivalent of the cult classic powder foundation that bareMinerals first debuted, gosh, years and years, over a decade ago, I am sure. I don't love that foundation, and after sharing that with you guys in my last video, a lot of you encouraged me to give it another try, which I'm not sure I will just because I have so many other foundations that I really, really love right now. But just know if you do love that powder version, this is supposed to be the liquid equivalent. This is supposed to have a medium to full coverage to it, and it also has an SPF of 20. The shade range is pretty extensive too. The brand sent me 3 of some of the shades that they have: medium beige 12, golden beige 13, and neutral medium 15, which, as I'm sure you'll be able to see from the swatches here, I landed on neutral medium 15 for my shade match, although I have to say I did find that all of these kind of oxidize a little bit on the skin. So neutral medium 15 looks like it's a good match for me, but after sitting on the skin for even, 3 to 5 minutes, it definitely got a little bit deeper. So depending on how your skin usually reacts to foundations, the skincare products you normally use under your foundations, just consider that as you are selecting your shade here. You get 1 ounce of product in here, pretty standard for a foundation, and the packaging I actually really like. So it is a double-barreled canister, and the canister on the inside actually holds your product. There is a paper that is the shade of the foundation that's wrapped around the inside there, so it is going to be harder to see when your product runs out because you can't actually see the product itself. That is a paper in there. But you twist the top, and a little bit like a MAC Fix Plus, this little guy pops up and you can pump the product into your hands. I just think this is a really nice, clean way to make sure your product is closed, that it's not going to get opened in your bag or wherever you happen to store this. It's just a really nice, sleek and compact way to package a foundation, I think. So now let's talk about the formula and my experience wearing it. So I would say that this is a relatively thin foundation. It is not as thin as something like an Beauty or a Pat McGrath liquid foundation. It's closer to center than that, but leaning more on the thinner liquid side of things, which for me means that I can layer it up. I can create nice buildable layers on my skin, but I don't find that I get full coverage out of this guy. Full coverage like, my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. This is a full coverage foundation for me, and the bareMinerals doesn't really come close to that. I would say it is a solid medium coverage foundation, which is nice, but in terms of what they kind of say on the packaging, medium to full, for me, and for what I consider to be full coverage, this is a medium coverage. It is also a very dewy finish. Like right now, I have only just gotten done applying this. Less than half an hour has elapsed since I put this foundation on, and I'm not wearing any highlighter. I'm not wearing like a heavy moisturizer underneath, and I still find that I have quite a bit of shininess pretty much everywhere on my face. So this is not even a satin, it's a full-on dewy foundation. It's a hydrating foundation, which I think is going to be great for drier skin types, combo skin types who don't mind setting their T-zone because it might help out, the drier patches on your skin. But those with oily skin might have a different experience with this, or just might need to prime with something that's mattifying and set with a powder. At least I find I need to set my under eyes and my T-zone in my oilier areas when I wear this foundation. Now, I can get behind a more natural looking foundation, a dewy foundation. I don't mind setting it or anything like that. I even don't mind if it oxidizes because you can always, just recalibrate the shade that you end up picking and wearing. The one thing that just still doesn't sit right with me is actually the foundation itself. The foundation still doesn't really sit right on my skin. Last time I had kind of chalked it up to the skincare product I was wearing underneath. It was a slippery base product, and since then have not worn that product again, have tried wearing this many different ways, set with products, over different products, and it just never feels like it really sinks into my skin. It just always looks like it sits on top. I can see the brush strokes across my skin. I can tell when it's not laying evenly in certain places. And even in my, they're not even drier patches at this point. They're just like differently textured patches on my skin. It doesn't lay nicely over those areas. So I guess it's not kind to the texture on my skin is what I'm trying to say there. And those are things that I can't quite get over when it comes to this foundation, because I'm constantly worried about how the rest of my makeup is moving around over top of it. Oh, Dallas has some words for Andrew. Oh, I do not envy him. He is getting a talking to. Okay, that probably means it's about time for a walk, which means I need to wrap this up, and that's okay because there wasn't a whole lot more I wanted to share about this foundation. I'm glad I got to wear it more, get a good feel for the coverage and the finish of it, but in the end, it still just is not the right foundation for me if a dewy, natural, medium coverage foundation is what I'm reaching for. Honestly, if that's the case, I'm gonna go for something like my Believe Beauty foundation. That's an amazing glowy, dewy, healthy looking foundation that can really be layered. And as a bonus, it's more affordable than the bareMinerals. So I apologize if Dallas in the background is a little distracting, but it is his walk time. So I gotta go. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope this review was helpful, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye guys.